Welcome to Introduction to Philosophy of the Human Person, topic 4.2. Ang pag-aaralan po natin is all about skepticism. Okay? Skepticism. Okay, let's skip that. So, question, have you ever experienced a dream like it was so real? Nakaranas ba tayo ng isang panaginip na para bang ang panaginip na ito ay totoong-totoo, yung naglalakad ka at biglang mayroong humahabol sa'yo, and noong tumakbo ka, napunta ka sa isang building at umakyat ka, napunta ka sa isang nasa tuktok ng building dahil wala ka namang patutunguhan, ikaw ay tumalon. Pagtalon mo, ikaw ay nahuhulog sa infinite na bangin na para bang wala itong hanggan. And then, nagising ka na lang and you realize na it was just a dream. And how about looking this picture? Na alam naman natin na this is just an image composed of different colors, but it's actually moving. It's actually moving. So the question is, if this, if your eyes can be deceived by this image, what makes you think that you are not deceived, that you exist? Or what makes you think that you are not deceived sa iyong sariling existence? So the question for today's lesson is, do you exist? If so, how do you know it? Do you exist? And how do you know you exist? Let's define first what is skepticism. Skepticism is an attitude of doubt or a disposition to incredulity, either in general or toward a particular object. The doctrine that true knowledge or knowledge in a particular area is uncertain. At ang taong may attitude ng doubt ay, ang tawag sa kanya ay skeptic. Now, masama ba ang maging skeptic? Hindi naman masama ang pagiging skeptic. Sometimes we could be skeptical about things na lumalabas ngayon sa balita ng social media. Hindi natin alam if fake news ba yan, but merong malalim na merong malalim na implication itong skepticism or pagiging skeptic once ito ay ginawa mo ng attitude sa lahat ng bagay. Okay? And hindi ko na i-elaborate muna ito ngayon on why is skepticism self-defeating, but dahil hindi yan sakop sa topic natin ngayon, but surely, Lord be willing, we will be able to discuss the self-defeating nature of skepticism or the idea of skepticism. Okay, so enter Rene Descartes. Um, according sa isang research na napanood ko, isang video na napanood ko is that si Rene Descartes daw ay isang parang Mac Daddy, okay, Mac Daddy ng lahat ng skeptic, kaya nagkaroon siya ng nickname sa kanyang idea na Cartesian Skepticism. In his first and most famous work, Discourse on the Method, Descartes discusses the first set of rules that he created in rules of the direction of the mind and how his visions made him doubt everything he knew. So, basically, si Rene Descartes ay dumating sa punto ng buhay niya na he doubted everything he knew. The question is, why did he doubted everything he knew? Why? Bakit siya nagkaroon ng doubt sa lahat ng alam niya? Well, ganito lang. He realized that many of the beliefs he used to believe or he used to hold were actually false. Ikaw ba naman, simula pagkabata mo hanggang sa paglaki mo, lahat pala ng pinaniniwalaan mo, most of them are false. Na-realize mo na most of them are false. So, okay, pagdududahan ko na lahat ng pinaniniwalaan ko. So after a bit of a freak out, he realized that the only way to make sure he wasn't holding any false belief was to disbelieve everything. So ito yung ginawa ni Rene Descartes. Kung nakikita ninyo, hindi po yan add to cart and remove cart. ang makikita niyo po sa thought process is think about the basket as our mind. Okay? And dati, si Rene Descartes, full of fruits ang kanyang basket. Okay? O basket of his beliefs na lang. Full of fruits ang kanyang basket of his beliefs. Now, ang ginawa niya, since na-realize niya na most of them are false, then inempty niya yung kanyang basket of his belief. Inempty niya. Then, next is makikita niyo sa image is isa na lang yung fruit. Okay, so inempty niya, then meron siyang ibinalik. Okay, at malalaman natin mamaya kung ano itong ibinalik niya. So just like rotten fruits, so assuming na itong mga fruits na nandito sa first image ay merong rotten fruits, some of them are rotten fruits that might affect some of the knowledge. So just like rotten fruits, rotten ideas can spread and infect all the ideas around it. Descartes upended the fruit basket of his beliefs and decided to start from scratch. If he examined each possible belief carefully and only accepted those about which there could be no doubt, then he'd know he was only believing true things. Okay, before ko paniwalaan ang mga bagay-bagay, ganito, examine ko muna isa-isa. Okay, na kailangan hindi ako magkaroon ng doubt dito after kong examine na talagang totoo ito. So he started examining his beliefs one by one. And he started with empirical beliefs. Na alam naman natin na kapag empirical, ibig sabihin through experience. This is a posteriori. Beliefs that we form through the use of our senses. The things we come to know directly through the use of our senses. So he started with empirical beliefs. Uh, Makikita natin dito sa image ano-ano ba yung mga empirical beliefs o ano-ano ba yung para ma-acquire natin yung knowledge through experience, ano-ano ba yung mga ginagamit natin. So we need these senses: sight, hearing, smell, taste, and touch. However, guys, he also pointed out that our senses fail us sometimes, like food tastes bad when you are sick. 'Di ba? Yung paborito nating food when we are sick, it doesn't taste right. It tastes bad. And alam naman natin na masarap pa rin yung food na yun kaso may factor eh. 'Di ba? May factor. Alam natin na masarap to pero bakit ganito yung panlasa ko? 'Di ba? Isa sa mga symptoms ng COVID is yung yung smelling mo at saka yung panlasa mo ay parang nagfe-fade. And isa pa dito is yung drink too much beer and you feel like the world is spinning and so on and on and on and on and on. Na alam mo naman na na hindi mo ramdam yung pag-ikot ng mundo sa totoo lang. Pero pag ikaw ay nakainom ng madami, it is as if na parang sobrang bilis ng ikot ng mundo. Okay? So isa yun sa mga realization ni Descartes na ang ating senses ay flawed. Okay? Now, dahil ang senses natin ay flawed, nagkakaroon tayo ng local doubt sa ating mga sarili. Pag sinabing local doubt, doubts about a particular sense experience or some other occurrence at a particular point in time. So, at least sa ating mga sarili, meron tayong doubt na alam natin na kapag hawak natin yung yelo at naghugas tayo ng kamay, alam natin na yung tubig na pinanghugas natin ng kamay is hindi naman talaga ganun ka-warm. Pero dahil humawak ka ng yelo, para bang deceived ang senses mo na hindi naman talaga ito yung temperature niya pero it feels like ganun. But what if everything is a deception? Ito yung question, big question. Since merong local doubt and each individual has local doubt, then merong global doubt. But what if everything is just a deception? So, itong question na ito, nagli-lead ito sa tinatawag nating global doubt. At sa global doubt, enter Bertrand Russell. Meron siyang 5 minutes theory na inintroduce that the creator of the universe could have designed many elements of the world to make them appeal pre-worn so as to seem old. That creator put something in our mind as if everything was real. Parang ganito yan, guys. 'Di ba, nanonood ka ng video na ito. So what if ang world daw ay kinreate ng isang creator of the universe? At isa doon sa creation niya is ikaw. At kasama doon nung kinreate ka is yung memory mo from the past na akala mo totoong experience, yun pala 5 minutes ago lang yun. Yun yung ibig sabihin ni Bertrand Russell. Now, ang question is, how do you know na hindi nga ganun yung nangyari? Na hindi lang 5 minutes ago? Well, pag sinabi mong, well, I can remember of the things that happened yesterday, well, ang sagot ni Bertrand Russell dyan, well, yung memory mo from the past, yung creator nga ng universe yung naglagay niyan na akala mo, memory mo yun from the past, pero that was just 5 minutes ago. Nilagay niya lang lahat. So how will you be able to disprove Bertrand Russell? Okay? So, yun ang question. So meron ding thought si Descartes about sa global doubt. He also thought about global doubt, but he couldn't fathom a world in which God would plant globally false beliefs in all of our minds. Kumbaga, kahit papano, kahit na merong doubt may doubt si Rene Descartes, hindi pa rin niya kayang he couldn't fathom a world in which God would plant globally false beliefs in our mind. So instead, he posited the existence of an evil God dahil hindi to pwedeng gawin ng Diyos. Okay? Sa kanyang created world, okay. He posited the existence of an evil genius whose purpose in life was to deceive us and who was clever enough to do it. So he posited this idea. However, he didn't exactly think such a being ontologically exists. But he realized there was no way to rule out his existence. If there is no way to rule out his existence. And as long as an evil genius was possible, he worried that we are all stuck in a radical skepticism in which we really cannot trust any of our beliefs. Ang radical skepticism po is like everything we believe, every sense experience, every thought, they could all have been put in our minds by the evil genius who created an illusory world so seamless, we have no way to detect this illusion. Ganong katindi daw itong evil genius na ito na na we have no way to detect. So, dahil sa ganitong problem, Rene Descartes was on the point of despair. He was on the point of despair kasi, oo nga, so therefore I know nothing. Wala akong alam. Lahat ng sinasabi ko ngayon is, so it 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 may seem right, but nilagay lang pala ito ng evil genius sa mind ko na hindi ko kayang i-detect if these things are indeed true or false. I have no way to actually know. So, ang problema natin ngayon, load natin sa bahay, hindi ka crush ng crush mo. Yun yung mga problema natin ngayon. Pero problema po ng mga philosophers dati is yung mga ganito. Yung mga ganito. But one day, Rene Descartes realized something. Rene Descartes realized something. At ano kaya tong realization na ito? Bear with me, okay? Bear with me. He had cause to doubt everything. Everything except the fact that he was doubting. He knew he was doubting. He could be sure of that. And if he was doubting, then he must exist at least as a thinking thing. Okay, after all, a doubt, or after all, a doubt is a thought. If there is a thought, there must be a thinker having those thoughts. So he decided that he couldn't know that he had a body. What he believed to be his body could have been part of the evil genius deception. But he must have a mind, or he couldn't have been having these thoughts. This was Descartes' Aha. Okay, okay. Ganito. Ganito pala yan. Sabi ni Descartes, pwede kong pagdudahan lahat ng bagay. Okay? Sige. Given na most of my beliefs from the past are false. Sige. Pagdududahan ko na lahat ng pinaniniwalaan ko simula past hanggang ngayon. Sige. Disbelief ko muna lahat. Disbelieve ko muna lahat. Now, whenever he doubt, he can doubt everything, but there is one thing that he couldn't doubt, and that is when he is doubting, he is thinking. Uulitin ko, lahat ng bagay ay pwedeng pagdudahan ni Rene Descartes. But there is one thing na sigurado siya na walang kaduda-duda at yun yung bagay na yung pagdududa niya. Yung pagdududa niya ay hindi niya pwedeng pagdudahan. Dahil kapag sa tuwing siya ay nagdududa, sa tuwing siya ay nagdududa, sabi nga dito, a doubt is a thought. If there is a thought, there must be a thinker. Merong thinker. So kahit na sabi niya, okay, I cannot know if I really have a body, but at least I have a mind. So this was Descartes' foundational belief, the first belief he put back in his fruit basket. And from there, he figured he could build back up to more certain beliefs. Okay, in his book Meditations on First Philosophy, it's one of the most famous realization. I cannot doubt my own existence. I can doubt everything else, but I can't doubt I am bare minimum a mind having thoughts because again, whenever he doubts, he thinks. Whenever I think, I am. Doon na yun. Cogito ergo sum. I think, therefore I am. Uulitin ko. For Rene Descartes, I can doubt everything, but I can't doubt that I am. With bare minimum, a mind having thoughts. Because whenever I doubt, I am thinking. And when I'm thinking, I must exist as a thinking thing. Okay? So I think, therefore, I am. Once he was certain that he was thinking a thinking thing, he began examining his thoughts. One of his most clear thoughts, uh, what he called a clear and distinct idea, was that God exists. And from there, he considered his beliefs about the physical world and concluded that it too actually exists. Ultimately, he determined God to have a clear and distinct wouldn't allow him to have a clear and distinct ideas that were false without some way to detect his own error. So, para sa kanya, ah, hindi iaalaw ng Diyos na hindi niya ma-figure out ang mga errors pagdating sa mga thoughts. So he concluded that the evil genius is not actually fabricating lies that consume our every waking moment. Descartes managed to reason from I think therefore I am, in Latin cogito ergo sum, all the way back all the way back up to having basically all the beliefs he started with back in his fruit basket, which in the story of how Rene Descartes, with the power of skepticism, defeated the threat of the evil genius. So, as a conclusion, according to Descartes, the act of thinking is a proof of individual's existence. Descartes argues that thought and reason are the essence of humanity because while one cannot be sure of any other part of existence, one can always be certain that he has thoughts and reason. For thoughts to exist, there must be a source to do the thinking. Therefore, if one thinks, one has to exist. To Descartes, human human are also capable of reasoning, and without it, one would simply not be human. Of course, guys, I may not agree with Rene Descartes' cogito ergo sum, and I will reveal that when we discuss self-defeating statements, but at least proximately, okay? Proximately, not ultimately, but proximately, meron siyang sagot how he exists. And hopefully, sa mga nanood nito, we can also relate to Rene Descartes' cogito ergo sum. How do we know we exist? Because every time we doubt our own existence, we think. And if we think, we must exist as a thinking thing. Cogito ergo sum. I think, therefore I am. Thank you so much for listening, guys. And please subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future content.